In the animal kingdom, color is key. Of course, animals use their colors for protection too, to camouflage themselves while hunting or to avoid becoming prey. So what happens when an animal lacks the ability to produce the melanin that makes those defining colors? Many of those animals have albinism, a genetic disorder that causes a lack of the pigment melanin, resulting in very light skin, eyes, and hair. Two albino American alligators, Alligator mississippiensis, reside at the Alligator Bay Zoological Park in France, but the US has some too. One of the most famous, named Claude, is a popular attraction at the California Academy of Sciences. Probably because albinism can be inherited, many albino alligators were found year after year in a single nest in Louisiana. Most alligator hatchlings are eaten before reaching adulthood, and albino alligators especially don't survive long in the wild. Even if they manage to escape predators, such as birds, raccoons, bobcats, large fish, and other alligators, their pale skin leaves them vulnerable to sunburns. The ruby-throated hummingbird is one of the most common hummingbird species in North America, and albinos of this species have pinkish eyes, feet, and bills. To get an idea of how rare this is, the chance of a bird being albino is believed to be 0.0005%. Only a few albino ruby-throated hummingbirds have been reported throughout history. Since 2019, they have been spotted in Ohio and Alabama, but those sightings were not expert verified. In general, ferrets don't have great vision. They're nearsighted and see best in low light, making the visual challenges that come along with being albino a double whammy, and in fact, dangerous. Prolonged exposure to sunlight can actually damage an albino ferret's eyes. Despite the defect, one study found that albino ferrets performed almost as well as their pigmented counterparts in visual movement tests. If you see an all-white squirrel with pink or red eyes, you know it's really albino. All-white squirrels with dark eyes are likely leucistic, not albino. Leucism is a partial loss of pigmentation, which can make the animal have white or patchy-colored skin, hair, or feathers. However, the pigment in the eyes are notably not affected by the condition, unlike with albinism. Leucistic squirrels are more common than albino squirrels. Albino rattlesnakes have white underbellies and yellowish scales. One species, the albino western diamondback, for example, can be distinguished from its traditional counterparts by how its telltale diamond patterning appears in deep yellow tones. Normally, these aggressively defensive snakes have a chalky gray-brown to dull red coloring featuring their namesake diamond pattern. Snowflake is an albino gorilla that used to live in Spain's Barcelona Zoo. He was euthanized in 2003 after being diagnosed with a rare form of skin cancer, likely caused by his albinism. He was the world's only known white gorilla. In a scientific first, researchers sequenced his genome. Then, they made another, more surprising discovery, that Snowflake was inbred. This find represents the first evidence of inbreeding in wild western lowland gorillas. In 2016, a rare albino turtle was reportedly spotted right after it hatched on a beach in Queensland, Australia. Onlookers noted that the creature seems to have stayed in the nest a few days longer than its more colorful siblings. Queensland's Threatened Species Unit Chief Scientist, Dr. Cole Limpus, told the Australian Broadcasting Corporation that an albino turtle birth was extremely rare, saying it only occurred in one in many hundreds of thousands of eggs that are laid. Even for Australians who see kangaroos every day, it's rare to see one with all-white fur. These peculiar roos have a genetic predisposition for vision and hearing problems, making them especially vulnerable to predators. In 2021, a white kangaroo named Cosmo was born at New York's Animal Adventure Park. The kangaroo was diagnosed with leucism, however, not albinism. It was clear by the dark eyes. This iteration of albinism might remind you of the fruit strip gum you loved in the 90s. Here, the characteristic black stripes of the zebra are an orangey gold color, inspiring the nickname golden zebra. Albino zebras can range in color from this tan shade to almost completely white, but they always retain a faint stripe pattern. Zebras are one of the only animal species that might benefit from albinism. On dry, dusty plains, this coloring may actually help them blend in more with the environment. The National Buffalo Museum in North Dakota has cared for a few albino buffalo in its day. The longest-lived among them, named White Cloud, was born in 1996 and lived alongside the museum's herd for 19 years before dying in 2016. She gave birth to 11 calves, including a white bison named Dakota Miracle. Many Native Americans consider white bison to be sacred, and the legend of the white buffalo story has been passed down through generations for thousands of years. A rare albino vervet monkey was first spotted as a baby in Livingstone, Zambia in 2005. Locals said he seemed to spend a lot of time alone, unlike normal vervet monkeys, but he could run and climb trees as quickly as his playmates. In China's Guangxi, albino monkeys were spotted near a mountainous area in 2017 and 2019. They aren't just any monkeys either. They were endangered Francois langurs. With as few as 2,000 mature individuals remaining in the wild, these monkeys are truly a sight to behold. The Asinara donkey is a type of feral donkey that lives on the island of Asinara, which lies off the northwest coast of Sardinia, Italy. Almost the entire population, about 140 donkeys, is albino, and the few gray donkeys among the herd are thought to carry the albino gene. The island, which used to be a World War I prison camp housing more than 24,000 Austro-Hungarian prisoners, now has national park status and is a popular tourist destination. The danger of albino skunks is that they lack the trademark coloring that lets other creatures, including humans, know to stay away. In 2017, forests, fish, and wildlife officers from the Canadian province of Prince Edward Island posted a nighttime photo of an albino skunk, and it looked remarkably like a cat. Officers told local media it was the first time they had ever seen one. Sightings seem to be less rare, however, in Greer, South Carolina. In fact, albino skunks are supposedly so common that an annual music festival is named after them. Albino deer do not survive long in the wild. They're usually abandoned by the herd due to the fact that their paleness puts the other animals at risk. It also makes them an obvious target for predators in a forest home that's typically brown and green. As with many animals, albinism causes the eyes to develop improperly, affecting a deer's depth perception and ability to track in the forest. The chances of a deer being albino are around 1 in 20,000. Albino frogs are a rare occurrence and face more than usual challenges to survive. Their coloring makes them next to impossible to camouflage, so they're easy for predators to pick off. Improperly developed eyes mean some struggle to find food, sometimes resulting in death by starvation. A truly albino frog will have red eyes, as a result of the absent melanin pigment, whereas dark eyes indicate leucism. Thank you for watching. I hope it was informative. Don't forget to subscribe to support me.